Hello, it's Dr. Rhonda Johnson. Today is Wednesday, February 29th, 2024, and today I'm talking about Black lives and gun violence deaths. Well, in December 2022, the New York Times Magazine ran an article on gun violence and kids. Did you know that gun violence has surpassed car accidents as one of the leading causes of death for American children? Now, gun violence affects children and teens from all races. However, since this is the last day of Black History Month, I'm going to focus on Black children and teens today. So in 2021, Black children represented only 15% of the population of children in America. But when it comes to deaths from gun violence, folks, they are well overrepresented. Guns have been the leading cause of death. Guns have been among Black children for at least 2 decades, folks. Black children are far more likely to be shot and killed than white children at every age, from the moment they can walk until they are old enough to vote, according to this article. Black children accounted for almost half of all gun deaths and 2/3 of gun homicides involving youth in 2021, and I doubt that number has gotten smaller. Black children are nearly 6 times as likely as white children to be killed with a gun, and Black males are 8 times as likely as other children to die by gunfire. I mean, these are horrible statistics. Now, the Pew Research Center states that gun deaths among children and teens rose 50% between 2019 to 2021. Now, to break down the gun violence by the setting in which it occurs, I know we all are concerned about the rise in mass shootings, but mass shooting incidents in the United States account for a small fraction of all gun murders that occur nationwide each year. And I don't have a breakdown of mass shooting victims by race. Now we'll look at next police killings. Black Americans are 2.5 times more likely than white Americans to be killed by the police and constitute 31% of all police-involved fatalities. Well, what about suicides? Well, 2/3 of the nation's annual gun deaths are suicides, but 85% of gun suicides are done by white men. However, the rates of gun deaths by suicide have increased in Black people by 73% between 1991 and 2017. So what's left, folks? Sadly, it's what I call the everyday killings that account for the majority of gun-related deaths among Black Americans. Now, gun violence doesn't traumatize just the family. It traumatizes entire communities, and then it gets stigmatizing and suffering incurs. Gun violence hurts the direct victims and their immediate families, but for the communities also there's psychological, emotional, social impact. There's grief, there's fear, there's anger, there's long-term mental health issues. There's an altered sense of safety and security. And then the entire neighborhood gets stigmatized. Grocery stores, if they're there, leave. Healthcare facilities leave. Opportunities quit coming into these neighborhoods, which means there are less jobs available, less services available, property devaluations, and it goes on and on. Now, I know I've spent all this time talking about gun-related deaths, but not everybody dies from their gunshot wounds, and there's an increasing amount of disability from gun-related violence also. So as we come to the end of Black History Month, I know this is a message that has been hard for me to deliver, because it's one thing to deliver the statistics, but it's important to discuss solutions. But I don't have any solutions. Clearly, multi-layered solutions and strategies are needed to change these outcomes, but we have to do something. One thing I know, it is far too easy to get a gun. I once had a 14-year-old patient of mine whose gun fell out of his pocket, and we talked about it, and he said, well, Dr. Johnson, if you want a gun, I can get you one in 15 minutes for $50. So guns are way too accessible in Black communities. And the communities, and as a whole, American culture, we've come desensitized to gun-related violence. So, folks, this is my message today. I know it's been long. For those of you who stuck with me to the end, I appreciate you listening to me. Please feel free to leave your comments and to share this message. Folks, take care.